Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Committee of the Whole for Wednesday, July 29th, 2026. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Are there any declaration of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none, motion to accept the agenda. Deputy Mayor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Manley, that the Committee of the Whole of the Township of North Glengarry accepts the agenda for the Committee of the Whole meeting on Wednesday, July the 29th, 2026.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion is carried. None opposed. Okay, moving on to staff reports, the administration department.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So, in keeping, I guess, with usual process for committee of the whole meetings, we would propose to start with a brief update from each department. We have two reports that follow this report, so that will take a fair bit of time to discuss. So, I thought we would go to each director and provide a 2 to 3 minute update, and then if any council members have any questions in regards to the updates provided or any item in particular you wish to discuss, now would be a good time. So we have an order provided in the report, but I think maybe we'll just start with Stephanie and go around the table and take it from there.
Okay, we do have a motion to put on the table. If Councillor Cadell could put that on the table.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Manley, that the Committee of the Whole for the Township of North Glengarry receive departmental updates from each department director, followed by an update from the Chief Administrative Officer for information only.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. So to give the Committee of the Whole a bit of an update of some of the activities that have gone on in the Community Services Department over the last few months, specific to each facility at the Maxville Sports Complex, we've been busy doing some changeovers with our emergency lighting to modernize the system to the newly required LED system. Parking lot LED lighting has also been replaced over the summer months. Some other general repairs and cleanup at the facility, and we've also recently issued the RFP to identify a new canteen operator at the Maxville Sports Complex, which has been vacant. At the Glengarry Sports Palace, we have done some upgrades this summer to the ball diamond with rolling. In partnership with the Alexandria Recreation Association, we've done some repairs to the fencing for the ball diamond as well, so some nice upgrades for there. We've also done some hydro repairs for the lighting, both at the soccer field and the ball diamond at the GSP. Added some new safety devices to the compressor room to improve safety for staff. And the capital purchase of our new dehumidifier at the GSP has been delivered. We're just waiting on the final installation contractor, which should be within the coming weeks before the start of the season. Island Park, the South Soccer Field, is currently out of service for routine annual maintenance, so that one is out of commission this summer. Freedom Adventures SDNG kayak rentals are operating out of Island Park, so primarily on Saturdays and Sundays between the hours of 12 to 6 p.m. But the owner has also been receiving private requests from local organizations and businesses who are looking to hire their services for team building or private activities and rentals, so that's been going very well for them. In addition to that, the Fireman's Island cleanup is currently underway, so staff are working on coordinating the decommissioning of the gazebo that's on Fireman's Island, and following that we'll proceed with looking into kind of the greenery and the bushes that are set up to do the continued cleanup on Fireman's Island, so that is underway. At the Tim Hortons Dome, I believe I mentioned to council in a previous report that there are bumps within the court in the Tim Hortons Dome on the court surface. So we're just working with the contractor to confirm construction dates, but they'll be coming in within the next few weeks to grind down those bumps and resurface the court. So we're looking forward to seeing that work done again prior to the launch of the fall season. We've already surpassed, as you'll see in the variance report, our targeted field rental revenues for 2026, and we've already surpassed the court rental revenues for 2026. So the full year that we were expecting to receive in revenue, we've already surpassed that. So as we can see, the Dome is very, very busy, and we continue to enjoy welcoming users to that facility. On the programming side of things, over the summer, we've introduced some new programming at the Maxwell Sports Complex. So being a fully air-conditioned facility, we've tried to take advantage of optimizing the use of the dry pad for as a walking track, for drop-in basketball, pickleball, court rentals. We've also introduced a new roller skating program on Tuesday nights, which has been well attended. Each week that it's operated. In addition to that, we launched a free drop-in youth ball hockey program in both Alexandria and Maxville in support of some of the minor hockey, interest in keeping the sport exposed to youth by offering it as a free program for youth this summer, which was also very well attended at both facilities. So we're happy to see that program be successful. The HGMH pool also offered daily programming throughout the summer and continues to until the end of the summer, ranging from public swimming, senior swimming, lessons, aquafit, as well as hosting the boys and girls summer camp. We're currently working on finalizing the details of our fall programming, so we're hopeful to launch that within the next few weeks with our usual programs of ballroom dancing, yoga, chair yoga, swimming, and others. On the economic development side, recruitment is underway for the economic development officer position, which we hope to be filled by the end of August or early September. Evening of Excellence nominations are open, closing on August 3rd, so that event will take place on September 24th at the Maxville Sports Complex. We completed our Meet Me on Main Street series this past Thursday in Alexandria, and I will just take a moment here to note that this event is not possible without the support and the collaboration of numerous departments and organizations, especially our Public Works Department, our Community Services team, as well as the partnering municipal recreation associations who work with us on planning these events. So a huge thank you to everyone involved in the planning and execution of these events this summer. In addition to that, just a few other updates surrounding grants. The Ontario government has confirmed funding opportunities will be later announced pertaining to recreation infrastructure, so we eagerly await that provincial funding to be announced in alignment with the slab replacement project. We are actively preparing the submission for the federal Build Communities Strong fund in alignment with that grant application for the Maxwell Slab project. So just a reminder, that's the federal funding that we'd be eligible to apply for that project. We were unsuccessful with the Trillium funding that we had applied for the elevator modernization project at the GSP. Nonetheless, we will continue to seek other opportunities to fund that project as well. So that's a quick summary of some of the highlights of what's gone on in community services over the last few months, subject to any questions. Thank you.
With the elevator, it's still in use?
Yeah, correct. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. It is still active and in use. We're just trying to proactively make sure we modernize it as needed. And one of the key pieces of trying to fund this project was the connection to the generator, the emergency generator being installed last year at the GSP. Right now, due to the age of the elevator, its components do not line up or are compatible with that, with the generator system.
Okay, thank you. Questions? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to compliment you and your team on a very, very busy summer so far. And the Meet Me on Main Streets, they were all fabulous. The Alexandria one, I think, just blew everybody away. You thoroughly deserve a vacation now.
Now that her house has been struck by lightning.
No, yes, because that won't happen again.
No.
But I also want to just mention the programming, the recreation programming. I've really noticed an enhancement to the programming in general, and then because I see it all on Facebook, and have you noticed a real uptake as a result of that? More offerings, more variety, more people are taking advantage?
Yeah, thank you. And through you, Mr. Mayor, I think the Community Services Department, especially by moving to the online registration for a lot of these programs, has also helped with the interest and the ease and the accessibility for users to register for these programs out of convenience. We do still offer and try to have staff available for in-cash, in-person payments and debits. But nonetheless, I do think in alignment with our booking system and the diversity in programming that we're able to offer now has been well received by the public. In addition, what we've also implemented over the last year is a survey to go out to participants following the completion of certain seasons of programming, so that we can always continue to evaluate, value of what the participants are experiencing, recommendations or suggestions for how we could change or better schedule them. So so I appreciate your comments, Deputy Mayor, and definitely we want to continue to evaluate and offer programming that aligns with the needs of the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And just like to say that with 3 prime months coming up at the Dome, it's nice to see those kind of numbers there and that we're surpassing them, so that's great. Go ahead, Councilor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Stephanie, just wondering, so I noticed the dock's been put back in out to Fireman's Island. And any idea on time on that timeline? I've had some people wondering when they'll be able to go out there.
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor. So we are hoping to see construction within the next 2 to 3 weeks. We haven't been able to obtain a concrete timeline, but nonetheless, part of the strategy in moving the docks over there was to ensure staff had, we weren't sure originally if we would have the number of components for the dock to reach Fireman's Island, so that was to confirm that, but also to give staff ease of access and getting to and from to begin some of the dismantling in partnership with any other construction partners involved. So we would hope within the next 2 to 3 weeks we'll definitely see some movement with that.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Councilor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one quick one. As far as grants go, obviously we're focusing on the slab from Maxville. Are there ever any, or is there any indication of upcoming that we would be allowed to submit multiple applications?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, it all depends on the criteria for each different, I guess, owner of the grant or organization putting through the grant. For the most part, in a lot of them, such as Trillium, it's really limited to one application per municipality, which is generally the case. But nonetheless, we've tried to, as a department, get creative with not just looking at federal or provincial grants, but also looking at private grants to see where we can fit in or align where they're tailored to municipalities as well. So nonetheless, it's difficult to say, but there are circumstances where they do permit multiple applications from a single municipality, but for the most part, the ones that we've been eligible to apply for have certainly been limited to one.
Just to keep it on the list, we still have dressing rooms at GSP, right, that never got done, that we would love to see get done, and there was an accessible component to those as well, to go along with the elevator upgrade, just if there's ever one that allows us something that broad, but just to make sure we keep it on the list.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, thanks for your report.
Thank you.
Jacob.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I want to say our department is busy, but clearly not as busy as staff department. Let's go to my notes here. So yeah, in the bylaw department, so at next council meeting, so at our first September meeting, I will present the agreement we made with the Township of Russell for their kennel. So that's going to be official, and we'll be able to start using their kennel. So at this point, they've agreed for just the kennel. So there's going to be like 2 agreements, one for the kennel and one for the dog catcher. We're still working on that one. A lot of townships around want to work with Russell for their kennel and their dog catcher. We're kind of far, so we're just trying to figure something out for that. But at least the kennel is going to be settled, and if we have a dog that we definitely don't know where it's from or whatever, we can bring it there, and that'll be very useful for sure. So that's going to be presented at the next council meeting. And then the next things, we're going to continue working on, of course, the dog catcher bylaw or agreement, and we're also at the same time working on exotic animal bylaw, garage sale and chip stand, the small changes that we have to do. I still have to complete that. We have been working with those changes, even though like council agrees with it, and there's no issues. It's just small discrepancies in our bylaw, so it's working well, no issues. So we're gonna do that maybe later this year in the winter when we're less busy. maybe I can ask Steph to help me. She has nothing to do anyways. So last thing for bylaw, we're also working with Todd on a list of, so it goes well with the new AMPS bylaw, so as you all know what it is. And so working with that, we're working on a list of properties that that we usually deal with. So I'm gonna provide it to the CEO, like all of this of all the properties we're dealing with. So it's gonna be easier to know if we have that one already in the works or whatnot. And with the AMPS, it's also useful because when we keep track like this, when Todd, like grass is the better example, if it's the third, the fourth time that he goes by and grass is not cut, instead of issuing an order, asking them, we just find them right away, or we get the grass cut right away. Like, we save a lot of time on that. So that list will help with that too, just to easier solutions. So we're working on that as well. And for in the building department, so we are, it's a very good year this year. We are, as compared to last year, I like to do that. So last year at the end of July, we had 121 permits issued, and this year we're already at 137. So we're issuing a lot more permits. The value is a little bit weird because, as you know, last year we had McEwen's offices, the manor, and the big apartment. So just these three permits are like, they throw our numbers completely out of whack. But with those 137 permits, the value of construction is 17.5 million. So they're still big permits. Within those permits, there are, and this is a lot higher than last year, we had 17 new dwelling units. So 17 houses that are being constructed, new houses. Of course, there are demo that goes with that. But out of these 17 dwellings, I think 4 of them are multi-units. So with the new law there, Ontario push for more homes. So it's working a lot for that, and the lagoon, with the lagoon in Maxville and Alexandria, that we can move forward. So it does help. Our 4 biggest permits this year, though, are agricultural permits, so huge barns, like, as you know, any barns that is being built today. So 2 poultry barn and 2 cow barns that are being built. So these are 2 1 million plus projects. So right now, but we still have, like, the manor's not completed, and well, the apartments in Maxville are close to be done. An entire building now have occupancy. Some are rented out. And Maxville, the McEwen offices are coming along very well too. Super nice building. So that's pretty much it for building. Planning, again here, not much to say. We're pretty much on par with minor variance and zoning bylaw with last year. But one thing we've been seeing more, so I think at the end of last year we had 24 severances in total the whole year, and we already have 19 severances this year. And a lot of that, so like, we haven't seen a lot of surplus dwellings and stuff like that. So a lot of those severances are really for new lot creation for new homes. So like, properties were splitting their own property in 3 to create new buildable lots. So it's a good sign for rural development anyways. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have for updates. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jacob. Questions or comments? Go ahead, Councillor Mallon.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just one, the severances to create new lots, this is basically due to the counties resetting the count on them, right?
Yes, surprisingly,
getting
there's that, and surprisingly, a lot is also due to the fact that when the official plan changed a lot of properties from ag to rural,
Yeah.
a lot of these properties are now, like, they were aware, of course, because they got the letter, and like, I would say maybe not half, but close to that, it's those properties that now have the availability to split in half.
Yeah.
But yes, the date reset also helped. But yeah, I'm seeing more because I know, because when I check the zoning, we check the zoning first and then we check the official plan, or vice versa. And a lot of times I see like a zoning, an agricultural zoning, and then if you look at the official plan, you see the changes. So that property is now rural, so they're allowed to create 2 new lots right away.
Yeah.
So yeah, it helps a lot for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Further questions or comments?
No vacation for you. You've got too much.
I know, eh? Good. All right. I'll try to work harder for the rest of the summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Zoe, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The finance department has recently had 2 new members join the department. This follows a departure and a retirement, and we still have 1 more vacant position at the front to be filled. We're anticipating early September as the process is already underway. The recently hired staff are currently being trained and learning more about municipal finance and the rules within the department and the township. And as always, cross-training is ongoing to allow staff to help meet the needs of the department regardless of absences or vacancies. Accounts payable, receivable, and water and sewer billing operations are continuing as usual. The department processes payments and issues invoices weekly, as well as performs the day-to-day payments and activity operations. In late June, the final tax bills were prepared and sent out to residents. The first installment is due this coming Friday, with the second installment due on September 29th. Staff have been busy entering payments related to taxes and answering these inquiries. The first installment date is always a little bit busier because most residents tend to pay both at the same time. Since the last department update, the payroll system has been fully implemented and all staff have been transitioned. It has created a learning curve. However, overall, there's a noticeable improvement in staff time to enter and process, as well as improved reporting. Staff have begun reviewing, updating, and creating new forms to improve documentation and help residents make changes more easily in relation to tax and utility accounts. Staff received feedback on the PAP form specifically, saying it was overcomplicated and difficult to understand. Staff have noticed oftentimes information was missing or the wrong option was selected. This form has been updated, and information on the plan is now included on the back of the form to better advise the residents. A new contact information form is created. Any changes to contact information related to taxes or utilities needs to be received in writing, and at times it's not always easy for the public, especially when they come into the office. So this form will improve documentation, and it also allows staff to ensure that all necessary information is provided prior to making any changes. Preliminary work on the 2027 budget has begun. As explained in the variance report, staff will be reviewing and updating the general ledger codes to ensure they make sense to council, staff, and the public. Updating and streamlining these codes will allow for better reporting overall and improved transparency. Staff have been in contact with the auditors and are working towards the audit presentation in late August or early September. Staff have provided all documents and are awaiting the auditors to finalize the statements and presentation to council. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just curious about something. When it comes to things like the water bills, and do you get a lot of inquiries from the public where they don't understand how to read it?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we have received inquiries. Our bills are like any utility. It takes a little bit of explanation to understand the different rates and how they're calculated on the bills. Staff are all trained in how to properly explain it. After an explanation, usually the resident does understand, but they are certainly occasionally challenging, especially for new residents.
Okay, so it's not just me then.
No, just you.
Yeah, I think staff are getting tired of me. Can you explain that again? Is there any way to simplify it so that it is more user-friendly?
Through Mr. Mayor, it's certainly something staff can look into. The software we use, it is very limited. It's a municipal software. There's not a lot of options, but it is something we can reach out to and see if there's a way to maybe modernize it.
Okay, I think that would be great.
We will look into that.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Councilor Manley.
On that thought, what about just a little explainer on the website? Like, take an example of a water bill in like the red circle and then like an explainer box as far as, you know, just to answer sort of the FAQs. And it might be something simple that would save some phone calls and you know, increase our means of communication, I guess, in terms of explaining things to people.
Through Mr. Mayor, it's definitely something we can work on. Part of the issue is that depending on the rate that's being charged, the codes change, which can also be confusing to residents and users. So for example, commercial would have a different code than residential, but depending on the number of units, the code might also be different.
Right.
So I do think it would be possible though to put together an information sheet and just maybe note the
Yeah,
more
that could be in
relevant
there, right?
ones.
Like
Yes.
your code might be this, or this.
Exactly, and this is what it
Yeah,
means. No,
yeah.
we can certainly put that
And
together.
that, yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'm gonna
our
say-
biggest client is residential properties, so,
Correct. Yeah.
you know, if we can make
And
sure
that's gonna
that
be
they
the majority of
understand it.
questions, I expect.
And perhaps maybe in the first bill of every January, we can insert in the bill, just like exactly what you would see on the website, just so, you know, because not everybody's on going to our website, you
Yeah.
know, so I think maybe something like that.
Yes, that's certainly something we can look at putting out in the new year, and in the meantime, putting something on the website to better explain it, maybe even an infographic on social
Yeah.
media.
Yeah,
Okay.
actually, yeah.
Perfect.
Just make sure there's one in Karma's envelope. Okay.
Mine really simple.
We will make something.
Okay, thank you, Zoe, and we'll obviously come back to you for the budget variances, so welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It has been a busy year for roads. We've had, it's the first year of our new manager of transportation. He's been doing very, very well for the roads department, and our other department's been doing well as well. So in roads, we've obviously been doing our normal activities, which is patching, grinding down sidewalks and inspecting. It always takes a lot of time. We go and water the flowers throughout the town, clear out the garbage bins on the side of the road. Then there's whipping, and we do a small sections of line painting, and we also contract out a lot of the line painting. We have a very large gravel resurfacing program that we do every year. It's all been completed. We had a lot of compliments about how it was conducted, and I anecdotally, I have experienced a large decrease in complaints about dust or condition of gravel roads, so I think that's good. We've also, one of the things that we changed is we didn't go with the counties this year for the sweeping. So that has pushed it's not currently over, but it will push our sweeping budget over in the fall. We're currently sweeping now for the Highland Games, and we did a sweep for the Canada Day Parade as well, which was good. We have a few streetlights replacements that have happened, just replacing the bulbs, and a lot of our work has been around event preparation for the Highland Games and Meet Me on Main Street. And then we've got our capital works as well. So we have a new tandem truck on the way that's being fitted up at the moment. We paved Lochgarry Road in Concession 4, which has been good. We still have the shouldering outstanding, but the gravel infills for the driveways have gone really well. And then we've got line painting coming up for the center line as opposed to parking stalls. So that's ongoing. Just occurs to me now, I need to status the crossing in Maxville. I know that we were out there doing the concrete work, but I don't know if we completed that crossing installation. It might already be up.
It's up.
It's up? Thank you. And so that's all been going well. Then we have, that's most of it for roads apart from our brushing and culvert replacements. So we've been down on Concession 1. So there's a section of Concession 1 that we maintain because we have both sides of the road as North Glengarry. So we replaced a culvert there, and we've had our razor going steady. So since May, the excavator's been out there with the razor on, clearing brush. Concession 1 is probably the latest place that we did. Just to name a few, Angel Road, the 10th, and of course the first concession. It's been going steady. That's most of it for roads. I guess on the bridges side of things, we did pave Center Street. That was finishing up the work that was done last year. We have completed designs and are getting ready for tender stage for the 17th Rural Crossing and McPhee Bridge. So McPhee Bridge is a timber structure that is deteriorated. We put a load limit on it last year, and we anticipate we should be able to, because it's really just the surface timber structure that needs to be replaced. So we may be able to get that work done this fall, and then would probably push the barriers and the asphalt into the spring. It's a seasonal road, so it's not open during the winter, so that shouldn't be an issue. We're also doing studies on Loch Navar Road Bridge, Max Corners Bridge, and Boursier with the testing, deck testing, etc. In waterworks, we've been doing hydrant maintenance, flow testing. We've been looking into quotations for flow testing because it's been a while since our hydrants have been brought up to standard. Then after we do that flow testing, we'll start to see if we can do some painting. It may get too late in the year for us to do that. in Waterworks as well, one of the things that they have implemented is they're getting the field map. So that's our GIS system actually out to our operators. So when we go up on scene, we can directly update, say, the positions of the line posts, because some of that data isn't always correct. So now the operators have the ability to update the GIS in the field for the location of our line posts, manholes, and getting that database up to date is really key on making everything run smoothly. So that's all been good, and we continue to do testing. We've had a lot of water breaks. We had quite a few early in the year, and recently we had 2, and we did a service line relining for sewer fairly recently. I think that was on Leheel, and I think that was it for sewer relines. In the waterworks as well, for capital, obviously we've got the 2 lagoon projects going. So for the Alexandria Lagoon, up to this stage, it's really been mobilization, organizing suppliers, and lots of meetings with the contractor, but they are mobilized on site. They should be starting some excavation. They've been doing some pre-loading of the soils, and obviously we've got a lot of desludging going on there as well. For Maxville, the ESR report should complete its 30-day period at the end of August. So then we'd be looking to move forward with design there. And then on landfill, so fairly exciting development is we've been trialing a depot at 265 Industrial. So there we would be able to take hazardous waste, electronics, and we could take small amounts of recycling for small businesses. So that's, a cost to the township. It's about $30 every time that we come and get a pickup. But the plan is to have essentially a small, kind of like a garden shed there where we can collect recycled materials for any of those small businesses or institutions or anybody who's been left out in the cold by the Blue Box changes. If they have essentially a residential amount of recycling, they'll be able to take it to 265 Industrial. We'll be able to take that and we'll send it all away in one big hit. So we don't process it there or anything. We just collect it to do one big pickup. So that's good. So yeah, we'll be able to take hazardous waste. The first day we anticipate it to be really operational is August 7th. We did a trial last week. The operator that we hired, he actually has some surgery this week, so he should be back next Friday. And the plan should be to have it open on Fridays. And if it's very popular, I may come back to council to ask to expand that to some, maybe every Friday during the summer or something like that. We'll see how we go. On that note, the 265 location that's been a big focus as well, is to complete that migration of services over there. The facility looks really good and everyone's doing really well in there. Some of the capital projects that were carried out to make that place a bit better. Obviously the insulation and the heating last year, just cleaning up the yard, some insulation and some HVAC installations for the offices. The building has been painted on the outside, same color as it was originally, but now it's all one uniform color. The other reason to prioritize that was the painting can actually help with any leaky issues that you have because it's a metal surface. So it's with a thick kind of polymer type paint that can actually help seal that building, which has been good. And then we've got the automatic gate being installed, which was really one of the major portions. The 2 things to happen really still with the 265 Industrial is the salt shed RFP. I need to get that out. And then we've got some plans that we've done up for the bathrooms. So the bathrooms are important because we have our water operators from there. And so they are wastewater operators and can come in contact with some hazardous materials. And so it's very nice for them to be able to have a shower at that facility, change their lockers nice and clean, and then don't bring that home to their families. So that's I don't think that was 2 or 3 minutes, but it's good.
Okay,
Summary.
thank you. Sidewalks?
Oh yes, sidewalks start August 7th. sidewalk replacements, they should be here August 4th, because that's Monday's a holiday.
Okay, and we'll be on them?
Oh, yeah.
They gave us several dates last year, and, we were doing sidewalks in November, and that's not what we paid for, so.
Yeah, we've been holding them to it. Contact pretty much every week. If you go out and have a look, the locates are all in and the flags are all in the lawn. So we should be starting up near the school and working our way down. We'll go around the corner and up 43. So we don't know how far we'll get up 43. It depends on sort of the conditions, especially with such a convoluted work area. Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Go ahead, Councilor Madden. Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Couple, the lights that are being replaced, is it considered acceptable lifetime replacement, or are they early?
Through Ms. Matt, they are a little early. They are LED lights, and so we were expecting a larger time frame out of them. It's a small budget for streetlight replacements, so we notice when we have just one or two more, but the real issue is to replace those streetlights, you're calling out a company with a bucket truck and electricians. So if you can have a large bill just for one or two streetlights. So yeah, we've had a few fail. Nothing unusual. We don't think that we're looking at having to. In fact, our asset management plan is coming out very soon, and you'll see that they're in good condition.
Okay.
Based on age.
The Loch Garry, is that going to the tracks or over the tracks, or is it done where it is?
Through Mr. Matt, yes, it is going to the tracks. The contractor is waiting on their permit for traffic control, or for rail control, I guess.
Okay.
It's combined with the rail control in South Glengarry. They have a similar issue, so they're going to come back around and do those sections at the same time, both us and South Glengarry.
Okay. And then, yeah, I guess just the depot at 265, obviously public notice information once that comes around. And I'd say, depending on what the uptake is, I'd say probably 2 Fridays a month would be pretty sufficient for it. South Glengarry has an agreement with Cornwall. They do 4 days a month. And it seems to be well used, but that's Cornwall taking absolutely everything, so. Anyway, yeah, that's good news, especially for the small businesses to be able to take some stuff there. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Go ahead, Councilor Manley.
Yeah, just to follow up on Councilor Madden's thing, we need to make sure we have good communication with the public on that for the 265 hazardous waste stuff, and just so people know that that's available to them, because I've had some calls on that or whatever too, so.
Absolutely. Through you, Mr. Mayor. At the moment, we've been running a trial and making sure that we can do everything properly. We rely on GFL to make sure that we have all the materials, and that's the reason we haven't sent out any communication about it yet. The GFL, their industry experience, in their opinion, they think that we're going to be overwhelmed with the amount of people that we have wanting to do this. So we're a little bit cautious, but once and it's hazardous waste, so we definitely don't want people showing up and then leaving things at the gate. So we're very cautious about opening that Pandora's box, but we had our first trials and everything seems to be going well. We also, the gate's being installed at the moment, so there's a trench across where we need to get through, but yeah, once we open, we'll do some advertising to the public. And we did do our hazardous waste event this year, so the idea is that everyone should already be cleaned out, and then we can really trial it for the next little while. And if council's in agreement and everything works, then we won't do our hazardous waste big day next year, and we'll just keep the depot open, advertise that ahead of time.
Would it be,
I'll bring you the invoicing. You can see.
just, we've done a lot of work there. Would it be worthwhile for us to maybe do an open house, public open house, and showing people where they would put their electronics and where they would put their, you know, the business to put their cardboard and things like that. I think it'd just be worthwhile for people to see where we, you know, where we have all our trucks and everything, and
Through you, Mr. Mayor, we can certainly do that. The other thing I was personally thinking of, having approached staff about it yet, was possibly doing some sort of video or photo post explaining the changes and
Sure.
demonstrating. So
That'd be great.
that may actually
Yep.
sounds good.
Okay, let's work on something. Okay, go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sorry, Gary.
Excuse me. It sounds like a great idea, this depot. I'm just wondering, are you calling it a pilot, just in case it has hiccups, like, you know, a million tons of stuff going there? Or, I mean, what if you end up having to charge for the items, which, if there is a lot of stuff, I imagine you'll end up having to charge. Like, is that something that, you know, people don't like surprises, right? But is that something you've built into the plan?
Through you, Mr. Mayor. So at the moment, we had budgeted in our hazardous waste GL for a certain amount of money, so that our cost to run it is no different from what we're doing at the moment, because we're simply using our landfill attendant for the same amount of hours and basically taking him down from the times that were unused at the landfill, which is those Wednesdays. So at the moment, there's no additional cost. The problem's going to be if we have a backup of people, there's just going to be people who don't get served. We're only allowed to take a certain amount of material as per our environmental compliance approval. So once we fill up, we have to turn people away, unfortunately. So.
But it's not like they've got to wait a year like we currently had, you know, at least they can come back next week, but it may be good to tell people to get there early and.
Yeah, I have two other quick things.
Yeah, go ahead, quick, go ahead.
Yeah, and what about the large item pickup? Is that in the works?
Through you, Ms. Mayor. So yes, we've met with some of the other townships. We went and had a look at Hawkesbury's level of service, and we've been meeting regularly with South Glengarry and the director there, who was directly involved in Cornwall's waste program. And we're currently working on terms of reference and the scope for a tender for next year. So we can, and it may be joint, it may be separate, we'll see. But that'll allow us to go for a new contract next year, and the hope is to incorporate large item pickup into that contract.
Excellent, thank you.
And when we say next year, we're talking January, right?
Through Mr. Mayor, so we would have to issue it in January, the tender, and the earliest we'd be able to implement would be August. That's our renewal date. And you need a big you need a big runway for a waste contract turnover, because if you change any of the parts about it for them, they need a bit of time behind them to make sure they've got the equipment and personnel, so at the changeover they can change over.
Well, perhaps the next council can just talk about doing a summer big item pickup and budgeting for that if they have to, if it's, because it's something that the public really wants, so. Go ahead, Councillor Martin.
I just wanted to make a comment on the crews there in Maxwell. They're cleaning up and it's looking really sharp. And the crosswalk is being very much appreciated. I'm seeing it used often. People are just taking that little extra time to walk to the corner and use it, so I appreciate that too. Thanks.
Great. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just to go back to the waste, am I correct that we're in a timeline where North and South renewals will align next year in August?
Through Mr. Mayor, we're very close. I believe they have, theirs is in December.
Okay.
The reason that we have the August renewal is if you start with a new contractor, it's nice to start with them and work out the problems in the summer rather than in the winter. Yeah. But there is a bit of coordination to do there with the date to make sure that if we combine, which looks like it could be very beneficial, then we'd need to adjust those dates. And where we have another amount of renewal that we could do, like that is available to us. So if we needed to change those dates slightly so we lined up, that would be possible. But yeah, it's ongoing discussions between the directors to work out all the details to get us the best value, pick up the best service.
Good, thank you.
If it worked out, it'd be good if we could be with the South, because economies of scale will definitely help out for both municipalities. So, okay, thank you. Any further questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, I do have a motion that we have already read out. All those in favor? Motion is carried, none opposed. Okay, moving on to Community Service Department, Dunvegan Hall flooring structure update. Councillor Madden.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Manley, who's seconding everything today. The Committee of the Whole for the Township of North Glengarry received staff report CS 2026-22, Dunvegan Hall flooring structure update for information purposes, and that the Committee of the Whole provides direction to staff regarding potential recommendations to Council with respect to the funding of the repair and replacement of the flooring structure of the Dunvegan Recreation Center.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. Stephanie.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So the purpose of this report is to provide the Committee of the Whole with an update on some of the evaluation that's been done recently on the status of the Dunvegan Recreational Hall and their flooring structure. So my intention today is to provide you with context on the engineering report that was recently completed, with a goal to hopefully generate some discussion around this topic to determine how council would like to proceed with being approached at our next meeting in August, with directions surrounding funding, not funding, or certain equations of how we could potentially fund this project. So to begin, just some background context on the hall itself. Built in 1919, it's been a significant community asset within Dunvegan, used for a variety of purposes, from community events, weddings, meetings, fundraising initiatives, and other social occasions. As with all of the recreation associations, we're fortunate to have the presence of the Dunvegan Recreation Association and their dedicated volunteers who take care of managing the hall, opening it up for different rentals, facilities, and events. So as a result, what's transpired over the last couple of months is, I guess going back a couple of years now, the Dunvegan Recreation Association, through the Municipal Recreation Association, had requested reserve funds to put towards a floor reserve, knowing that eventually the floor would have to be replaced in the coming years. However, over the last couple of months, upon further review of the structure of the floor itself, it was determined that this project would certainly surpass any anticipated funds that would need to be raised to complete this project within the scope of those capital allotments. So as a result, Jacob supported the department by going in and completing an initial review of the status of the flooring, to which we proceeded with the logical next steps of retaining an engineering firm to complete a structural assessment of the floor structure. So EVB was retained, and again noting maintaining ongoing communication with the Dunvegan Recreation Association throughout this process. The findings from EVB confirmed the presence of deteriorated and rotted wood beams beneath the existing floor surface. The report, as you can see in your packages, further advises that the floor structure is in fair to poor condition, and portions of the structure require strengthening or replacement. However, EVB returned to us noting that due to the age of the building, the rotting timber, and other observed deficiencies, it would be their recommendation that the township should consider budgeting for the full replacement of the floor and the floor structure, noting that it would be more cost effective to replace it as a whole, as opposed to installing reinforcements and having to complete further repairs over time. So EVB Engineering has provided a cost estimate in the amount of approximately $200,000 for this replacement. So while this estimate has been developed to account for a few uncertainties, again noting that the crawl space where the engineers could actually go underneath and assess the structure of the floor was limited to certain areas. It's a very small crawl space. However, The report has been prepared with the intention that what was seen in the certain area underneath of the floor structure is to be expected in the other areas that could not be observed. So with that said, the $200,000 is likely a conservative estimate for the total cost, and during an actual competitive tender process, we are of the opinion that it would likely come in lower than $200,000. That being said, stemming from this, we understand that is a high ask of council to replace the floor structure in its entirety. We have discussed the findings of the engineering assessment with representatives of the Dunvegan Recreation Association, who have also expressed they're committed to fundraising a portion of this to help offset the costs associated. But of course, they're limited in what they can do without a proper hall to host events or fundraising initiatives. I should also note that EVB Engineering has recommended that the floor replacement be completed within 1 year, based on the current condition of the flooring. I should also note as well that the structure of how the Dunvegan Recreation Association uses their funding is through the township, through our annual budgeting process. They receive an annual operating budget, which is used to help cover costs for running that building, inclusive of heating, electricity, grass cutting costs, general repairs and maintenance. And so in addition to that, the Recreation Association is already expected to conduct some fundraising to help offset costs to operating the facility. So as you'll see in your reports, as an example, in 2026, the Dunvegan Recreation Association would have received a total of $10,914 for their operating expenses. And despite that, in reviewing of their annual reports from 2025, their operating expenses actually exceeded $16,000 last year. So even though we're giving them $10,000, they're truly dependent on the fundraising dollars to help offset their costs to running that building. That being said, they've had a lot of successful fundraising efforts over the years, last year raising over $8,000. So the reason I'm mentioning this is the operating budget is one thing that they truly rely on to maintain that building at a minimum. We also provide, through the township budgeting process, each year we gather as the Municipal Recreation Association Committee and discuss with all of the recreation associations what their capital priorities are for the year and determine a proper allotment to be allocated to each recreation association. So over the last couple of years, as noted earlier in my report, the Dunvegan Recreation Association has had previously requested $7,500 in 2025. This year they were approved for $5,000 for 2026. And in 2024 had been approved for $5,000 to go into a reserve specifically for this project. That being said, we've already had to tap into that reserve to cover off engineering costs associated to this project. So with that, the reserve currently has an amount of $12,500 committed towards this project. So one of the items that I would like to propose to the Committee of the Whole today for potential recommendation to council is to look at that capital allotment and potentially use that as a payback or a loan system to offset any money that is used or allocated into this project. So as an example, if the Municipal Recreation Association capital funding, if we were to determine $5,000 annually going forward for, let's say, the next 5 to 10 years, did not go directly to the Recreation Association or into a reserve or for any other purpose, but that money would then go as a payback method. Let's say if a reserve or a municipal reserve was used to fund this project, it could go back into paying or replenishing that reserve. So with that, I've provided the Committee of the Whole with a few options for how this could be funded, but again, it's mostly situated here for a few different options for the committee to consider. In consultation with our treasurer, we do have adequate funds within a recreation reserve, approximately in the amount of $150,000, give or take. And again, this is completely separate, just to be clear, from any of the other committed projects such as the Maxwell Sports Complex Lab. That's a completely separate reserve. So we would have approximately $150,000 to commit towards this project if deemed suitable. So ideally, the other $50,000 could over time be replenished through the Recreation Association through this Municipal Recreation Association capital repayment plan, as well as expected fundraising efforts, and potentially for the committee to determine a target amount that they would like to see the Dunvegan Recreation Association work towards achieving to offset costs. So I recognize this is a lot of information and not an ideal report that I enjoy bringing forward to council, but nonetheless, in working with the Dunvegan Recreation Association, the hall is well used. It is, an asset within their community to host various different community events, and there is a commitment on their part to help offset costs associated to this project. So with that, I'll certainly be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thanks for your report. I think it's clear that this has to get done, and we have to do it. We have a year to get it done, but the sooner the better. And it's just a matter of how do we pay for it. And I truly think $200,000 is a little bit of a crazy number. I think that if we get 3 local contractors to go have a look at it, I think that we might get some good pricing, and I think before we head down the looking at all these options, I think we need that number. So I would suggest that we go ahead.
Yes, through you, Mr. Mayor, certainly to that point, I think we are going to explore just getting budgetary numbers from local contractors to help supplement the information in that number. We could proceed to tender if that's what council wishes to do, and then come back with and have a discussion regarding about how to fund that amount. I think the purpose of the report today really is to convey the exact report and information shared that we have from EVB, as well as kind of put it into council's ears of what potential options there may be and what may be, amenable to council for potential funding scenario. So we don't necessarily need direction on the specific option. Stephanie has presented pretty much every option that we could consider, or a combination thereof, and we would expect that we bring back a report to council seeking direction on on which option they prefer. We can proceed to tender and get prices back from the contractor. If we do that, I would be prepared that we will need to award that tender in some manner. We won't be able to just take it and reissue it, so we would need to be prepared to come to an agreement as to what the funding scenario would look like when we bring those results back. So that's the only thing really to consider if we proceed to tender. Is that we won't be able to necessarily pause it and then reissue it later. We'll have to make a decision on what arrangement we wish to proceed with, and certainly today is to get these options on the table, get the high limit amount on the table, and get everybody's thoughts on what would be a reasonable approach.
Go ahead, Councillor Kiddo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a question, when they fix the structure underneath, do they save the floor? Or does that have to come out and be replaced, do you know?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, my understanding based on the cost estimates that were received, it was the flooring would be replaced with a vinyl surface as quoted.
Yeah.
So I'm not aware of if there's any ability to, depending on how they have to go about accessing the underneath, it may not make the deconstruction or decommissioning of the flooring, but I may look to, yeah.
They'll have to replace the floor.
Replace the whole thing.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just wondering, and I'll direct this to Mike there. How many other buildings have we got? How many other community buildings have we got that are in the same situation? And that we're going to be looking for doing some of this. I know we've talked about this. We've talked about the fact that we've got other, and I know the township is going to do some looking into some of those buildings, right? And I'm just wondering whatever we do for this, are we setting ourselves up for the future where we're going to have to do the same thing, or?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I think that's certainly a consideration. Is what you do for one rec center has implications on others. I would indicate in regards to this, I think they planned on replacing the floor because that was what was visible, and then I think upon doing some further investigation, found that the problems are much more significant than was originally anticipated. do I think we have a similar situation at various? Probably, probably not. But do other facilities have, are going to encounter their challenges in future years? Likely. So I think it's certainly a consideration of, of precedent setting. But at the end of the day, there's still a problem that needs to be resolved, and so it's really trying to strike a balance between what's the right amount for the hall to be, fundraising, and what can they reasonably do, and what amount of future dollars can we obligate them to commit. So if we commit future capital dollars, that's not going to something else. So I think we have to apply reason in determining what's a reasonable number, and what's the reasonable amount for the township to contribute to the project. So it's really just, I think it's finding the balance of all those elements, and considering that you might have to apply that same rationale to something else down the line at another facility.
I think, though, if you look at the facilities that we do have, Apple Hill has been upgraded, Glen Robertson has been upgraded, Dalkeith has been upgraded. They've done work there, lots of work. Not to say that a roof can't go, but I'm pretty sure that most of our other facilities are in fairly good shape. Go ahead.
Just wondering if maybe we shouldn't look at something in our budget line or whatever that has something for major capital expenditures and start to plan ahead for that.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, and so we'll actually be bringing the asset management plan to the next meeting. So that's certainly one of the goals of the asset management plan is to kind of determine what the long-term capital needs are. There was condition assessments done, so that's definitely a priority for us, and hopefully, or will be identified in the asset management plan, and then hopefully form part of our budget going forward.
Councillor Martin, then Deputy Mayor.
Well, one thing we do through the MRAs in our meetings later in the year, we'll check and see if there's other groups that haven't used their capital expenditures, and a lot of times it just gets reallocated, so that there's going to be some funds there that might be able to be reallocated. And I know originally they were just looking at replacing the floor. Like, to answer your question, they wanted to replace the hardwood floor, and I think this bouncy subfloor became an issue. So,
Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, excuse me. I just want to kind of reiterate the sentiment that we're darned lucky to have these recreation associations who actually fundraise and work sort of boots on the ground to maintain these facilities. I just held an anniversary party at the Apple Hill Hall, and everybody was like, wow, what a beautiful hall, so well maintained. And that's the Apple Hill Recreation Association, Now, and if I'm not mistaken, these are municipal assets, right? They are owned by the municipality, so we have a duty to do our part. And I know that the capital that we send to the MRACs every year, they divvy it up and they plan for major capital expenditures. But I don't know that you can plan for a $200,000 expenditure. So it does explain why we're in this position, for sure.
My suggestion would be, and you guys can weigh in on that, is that we go out to tender right away, get a number in front of us. Let's meet with the DRA, the Dunvegan Recreation Association, have a chat with them on what they feel like their capabilities. I have some ideas that I think that we could raise some funds there. So I think it's a good time. We have generous people in our community. It's you look at what's happening at the hospital. As co-chair at Maxwell Manor Foundation, $11 million there. So we have people that are, especially in these small knit communities, that would provide some funds. So let's meet with the DRA, I think, and see what they think is. And then, how long do you think for a tendering process?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the contract isn't that extensive, so I probably would say 2 weeks we'd be able to wrap it up.
So we could come back with an answer in our meeting in September?
Yes, and we're actually looking at possibly, if council's amenable, needing to add a meeting for this August 24th, and so there's that possibility as well. But yeah, we could definitely bring it back for then.
And just thinking about that, what is our capabilities? I know that council becomes lame duck on the 21st of,
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, that would add a bit of a complication. I guess what we could do is assign a budget to the project before lame duck, so that if it's within budget and then there's delegation of CAO power, or some elements, I guess, to the CAO for amounts over budget. So I think we could possibly manage that project, or manage that if it went into the lame duck period. And I guess just on it, I guess just hearing the discussion, I think we would issue the tender, meet with the Rec Association, and then when we bring back the tender results to a formal council meeting, we would have a proposed amount that the township would contribute, a proposed like lump sum fundraising amount that we would expect that the Rec Association would be able to come up with, and then also possibly some form of repayment of the capital amount. And that's, if council's amenable to that, we might proceed with that approach. So that's good. Yeah.
everyone good with that?
Yeah.
That approach? Yeah, go ahead.
Throw a couple of things in here. I definitely agree with the payback. If it's something we gotta get done, we say we're good for 50%, whatever the percentage becomes, we can cover the rest. It's gotta come back to us after fundraising. A question, and I'll direct this to Jacob and to you based on your background. What's the possibility that we could, and to the mayor's point about generous people, we could source some of the product, and I'm thinking more about subfloor, potentially support structure from people who have woodlots and wood mills? Is that something, like if we oversize it, or if we have somebody that can certify lumber?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, there's that possibility for sure, that if somebody's willing to donate what specified on the drawings, it has to be what's meet spec.
Yeah.
That I'm sure we could build a tender around including that, but
Jacob?
if somebody's willing to donate, yeah.
Yeah, it's possible, but any wood that is not graded needs to be engineered, so there
This is
may
what-
be some,
Do we have anybody around that can actually stamp lumber?
it's hard to find. There's just
Okay.
a few in the area, and that's what happens with Roughs on Lumber. It's like, we definitely talked to Mr.
Yep.
Rickard there. He would have some names probably for us, but Roughs on Lumber is hard because it has to be inspected and approved.
Yep.
So in this case, because it's a public building, you're talking the loadings are a lot larger than residential, so like the wood may be like oversized and
Well, that's what
whatnot.
I'm
So
wondering about
you
oversized.
may end up paying the same price for as compared as what they quoted for engineered wood eye already. Sometimes it's just cheaper because it's like pre-engineered, pre-approved, so the whole floor system works together as compared to trying to grade some wood, and then it has to dry maybe, there's
Yeah.
time, so it may
Fair
be
I
a different.
I think that
Time-wise.
timelines don't match up, and, if
Fair
it were
enough.
something, but I think we need to move forward with it. You had something else?
No, it was just, if it was something that community could contribute to, participate in, then, but if it's obviously a timeline thing. If it was something that was gonna be planned for a year and a half down the road, then, dry and everything else
Yeah.
wouldn't be an issue, but yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, no further questions or comments? Thank you, Stephanie. It wasn't a fun report, eh? So we provided the direction. So all those in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. None opposed. Okay, moving on to Treasury Department, Councillor Manley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Madden, that the Committee of the Whole for the Township of North Glengarry receive staff report TR 2026-08, second quarter variance report for information purposes only.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Zoe, again.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This report provides council with an update on the township's financial position after the second quarter of 2026. The quarterly variance review is an important check-in for staff and management. Staff have reviewed their budgets and spending, and this report acts as an opportunity to review and help guide financial decisions for the remainder of the year. The variance as of the second quarter, as of June 30th, 2026, is negative 68%. As mentioned in the first variance report, the township's current variance still appears skewed. This is largely in part to the receipt of the Housing Enabling Water Systems Fund grant in the amount of over $7.1 million in quarter one, and now the receipt of the garbage revenue in quarter two. At this point in the year, spending and expenses are still low, whereas the township has collected a significant portion of anticipated revenues. In this report, I've also provided the variance breakdown by source. It allows a look at the tax base versus user rate budget. Looking solely at the tax base, the variance is 26%, which is more typical for this time of the year. As the waterworks budget must be balanced to zero, the variance in the revenue, expenses, and capital categories provide a better idea of the financial status of the department. I've also included a summary of the variance by department, and all departments are within range for 50% at this point. In the second quarter, it was also decided to reallocate the public works building budget. There were only 7 jails associated with this budget, and staff feel that expenses were not being accurately captured. The budget was reincorporated into the roads and waterworks budget, and there was no impact on the budget overall. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments at this point? No red flags for you?
No, through you, Mr. Mayor, at this point in the year, everything appears on track. Some line items you'll see in the detailed breakdown are over the 50% line, but there's many expenses that are front-loaded throughout the year. Staff and the department heads will work to stay within those budgets.
Okay, go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, it's, again, I like the way you set it up. It makes it easy to read and make it overall looks really good. I just have a question about whatever procedure you have in place with regards to purchasing computers, because I noticed there were a couple of line items that were over on computer purchases or laptop purchases. I'm assuming that you know, they have a lifespan and need to be replaced at a certain length of time, but it mentioned in both instances, you know, for new staff members. Now, I'm assuming not every new staff member gets a new computer.
No, through you, Mr. Mayor, each department manages their own computer budget currently. When new staff come on board, occasionally, right now we're transitioning away from desktops towards laptops.
Yeah.
Overall, the performance is better. It allows for more flexibility, especially moving around the office. And with the retirement or departures of certain staff members, we've been making the move from the desktops to the laptops.
Okay, that explains it. Thank you.
Okay, go ahead, Councillor Manning. Oh, Tim?
Through Mr. Mayor, I just want to add as well that there was a large software update from Microsoft, which meant that we did have to, there's a few laptops that needed to be replaced in my department specifically. I think I can think of 3. And I've got the, you know, the foreman and managers who need to report up. So there is a higher expenditure there. We didn't know that Microsoft was going to update that. We think it's something to do with their AI. They're not going to support the last ones anymore. So, yeah.
Councillor Madden.
I was just going to say, seeing as how Councillor Massey isn't here, I'm going to say the color coding, awesome.
He loves colors.
Well, and it is truly, it's really efficient to just be able to go through it and it shows right away what's out, what's off, what's in, you know, and sort of flags anything, even if it's a little thing that needs just some attention. So, yeah, no, I like it. It's good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions or comments? Go ahead.
Just want to know that my clothing allowance is on track.
Well, I hope so. The amount of money we keep putting into it every year. You'd think you'd be coming to the meetings in a suit. Okay, thank you. And there are no items under, sorry, we do have updates. Councillor Massey is not here. Maxville Manor update. Councillor Martin.
Yeah, we haven't met on the whole as a group, but since the annual general meeting. But I did stop by yesterday to take a few pictures of the construction. The top one on the left is the newest addition. It's going to be a 2-story, and I get a little email from Phyllis, and you will notice there's a foundation structure of a new resident home unit to the northwest of the current building. This will eventually be a two-story structure providing accommodations for 60 residents. It will include not only private rooms, but new activity space, dining rooms, bathing centers, view of an outdoor walking path, and access to a new outdoor courtyard. To ensure all necessary services are made available to residents living in Maxwell Manor, fundraising projects remain underway. And one that's coming up is a golf tournament on September 25th. And that's about all I have to update on the matter.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on the manor? Okay, seeing none, Glengarry Pioneer Museum. Councillor Martin.
Okay, well, they're in the middle of a very busy summer. This weekend they had an exhibit on the Telegraph. They had a presenter. Did a good presentation, I guess. Now, coming up, they have an art show running from August 8th to the 3rd, their Fall Festival, September 13th, and their 1812 reenactment, September 26th, 27th. So that's all I really have on that.
Okay, thank you. Glengarry Archives, we have not met. I think we have a meeting in September. Arts, Culture and Heritage, Councillor Manley.
We have a meeting coming up next week
Okay.
on the 4th, so it's the information after that.
Okay. County Council update, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just looking at the agenda here. We had a delegation from the warden of Prescott Russell, Mario Zanth, and he was basically introducing himself to County Council, but also, you know, proposing increased collaboration and partnership with.
Go ahead.
What?
We're just talking, but go ahead.
No, it's fine.
Am I saying something? I
No,
don't
we're not
say?
talking about you. No, continue, sir.
Increased collaboration and partnership between the Prescott Russell and the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry, and I think it was generally, you know, very favorable. It was good of him to come and introduce himself. A very significant forest acquisition was made at the counties just recently. The forest is in South Glengarry, privately owned. As you know, South Glengarry has really cut down vast amounts of its forest because it has such good farming land. And this is one of the last tracts, large tracts of forest left. And the owner of the property did a partial donation, so the county's paid a certain sum of money. I can't recall exactly how much, but not nearly what the property's actually worth. And then the county provides a charitable receipt for the remainder of it. And then it puts our forestry manager in a position where this property will be looked after and will be kept as a forest in, what's the word, perpetuity. Perpetuity. So that was a really nice piece of news. In South Glengarry, I don't recall. Do you, Jamie? Do you know where?
It's up towards Second Line Road, between Second and Third Line Road, I
I
believe.
think the last name was McDonald.
Yeah, Charlie McDonald.
Charlie McDonald.
Yeah, and it's
Like a
it's
very valuable piece. Yeah.
plus his farmland. Like they're giving us the farmland to replant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I.
on that note, that just the counties have acquired this year, including archivist land, 365 acres this year, just as part of the county forest.
Yeah. And the draft terms of reference for an SDG Agricultural Advisory Committee were unveiled at the meeting, which I thought was excellent, and so that will be moving forward as well. There were other things that weren't that interesting.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Just that I got a request, a request for a delegation. We were meeting with the Minister of Education, the county's education.
Okay.
Is going to meet with the Minister of Education on the Monday, the 17th, when we're up at AMO.
Okay.
So we'll be doing that. meeting
That's
with
great.
them.
Good. Friends of the Trails, Councillor Manley.
So the Trails have an event coming up on September the 7th. I think I've sent that to everybody's, or somebody has, I think Stephanie sent that to everybody's calendar or whatever. It's at Island Park. It's their event day. And I think the mayor is going to do the dunk tank with me.
And me.
Mr. Mayor there. So anyway, that's happening on the 7th of September. It's the long weekend, the Monday long weekend.
Okay, perfect.
Better you than me.
Community Development Committee, we were supposed to have a meeting today, but we weren't going to have enough, we weren't going to have quorum, so we'll meet in the next couple of weeks. I think we have a couple of big items we want to talk about. And Rural Affairs, there has not been a Rural Affairs meeting,
No.
Brian? Okay. Next Committee of the Whole meeting, Dependent, Wednesday, September 23rd, 3 p.m. in council chambers. And motion to adjourn, I think Councillor Massey had it. Councillor Madden, if you can.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Martin. There being no further business to discuss, the meeting was adjourned at 4:20 p.m.
Okay, all those in favor? Motion is carried, none opposed. Okay, thank you everyone for joining us, and we have a council meeting coming up.
August 14th.
August 14th will be our next council meeting, so thanks. And Councillor Martin, do you want to put a plug in about the Highland Games since you're wearing your kilt today?
Highland Games are coming up. Today they're doing their golf tournament. Tomorrow night is the Tartan Ball, and we go at it. Friday and Saturday, come on down to the game.
Again, I'll just warn you, do not call it a dress one more time.
No, I meant summer dress.
Oh, summer dress. Okay, okay. Okay, so thank you everyone. Have a great rest of your week.